Welcome to the Land of Bet Sports Betting live show. Had to make sure I had the right mic on. I'm late. I stay late, but appreciate everybody being in here already. We got a bunch of people coming in the comments, which is what we're going to be doing today. So what's up, Reef? Getting the first comment in. How you doing, my G? We got Haliburton already 27.5. You can get that PA. That's a good look, but let's get right into it because I don't want to waste much time with it. And I'm just going to tell you guys, come in with your bets and let me know what you got in the comments. That's what I want to do because I already put out an episode last night, went through pretty much everybody. It was yesterday day, actually. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. But we got a couple looks in there and I got my bets down. Probably want to get a couple more, which is also why I like doing this show with everybody because that's where I get a lot of bets. It's from you guys coming in with some pretty good looks. So appreciate that. I'm going to keep going through the comments and then share my screen here with Props Madness. So let me just get right into it, honestly, and start sharing that screen. And as people jump in, I'm going to do a good job this show of getting the bets down on the bottom line so that everybody can see what we're talking about on the show. So if you come in late, hopefully you check that out. Obviously, I'll have to repeat that a bunch because people who come in late won't know that. This is Props Madness. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. A lot of what we're doing now is not necessarily season-long averages and things of that nature. So not going to be able to get everything we need out of it, but it's a good sort of home base for everything we're going to do here. If you do want to jump in and use the program, I'm going to be using it for the W all season. This is like the game changer for the W. Hella games on Tuesday. Sheesh, gonna have to get into that pretty quick. But this is the best platform for that. So if you want to use it, use that code LYB, get yourself some percentages off and all that stuff. Let me get into what everybody's looking at because I don't really need to go through what I got. We're gonna be talking about it. So I got the look for Hallie as a start. I'm gonna star that one. Yeah, my bad. We're always gonna be a little bit late, but yeah, staying awake, Cody. Actually got 5.5 hours straight last night for the first time maybe forever. So I'm feeling pretty good actually. But Siakam boards, let me star that for you as well. We got SGA and Hallie rebounds. Didn't hit last week. Playoffs been every other game. Okay, both of them on the boards. Looking at the over, I'll star that one. Holmgren under 1.5 threes. We can look at that. I'm not sure if Hartenstein being on the floor is going to affect that. So let me take a look at that in a sec. Haliburton on the steals from Free Sauce. What's up, my G? Free Sauce can be one of the VIP cappers in the Discord. So we'll be paying attention to what you got to say. Dort on the threes. I definitely got a feeling about that, or at least a look for that. Me and you both, Whaley, like me and you both on this one in terms of thinking Obi under, but he's proved us wrong. He might be in line for another 20, 30 minutes in this one. So tough to get there with it. Chet on the double-double. Let me get you a look on that. Got to go back to Hallie turnovers. I haven't hit that one yet, but hopefully we can get the best number for him to get 3. SGA on the under. We'll talk about SGA. I got him in there. Another look for Nemhard on the under RA. I think that's a pretty good look. I'm just starring all this stuff so I can come right back to it. Interesting. If you want sleepers, got a little look for 27.5. I hope that's a good discount right there because that's not too much, too many points, I should say, to go under when he's at 34.5. But yeah, Siakam, we got feelings about for sure. Let's see what's easy money. All right, cool. Let me get into to the starred ones. I'm going to be looking at this stuff real quick and getting into it with you guys. So let me start with Reef's look here for PA for Hallie. I don't think that's around anymore, right? For the PA for him. Let me see real quick. Hallie, because he's all the way down to 16.5 points. So I was looking at 25.5. If you're going under 27.5, you might be taking an alt line, Reef, if that's what you're looking at, and adding it to something else, which I could understand because the other look for Hallie was the boards, right? That was something that somebody brought up a minute ago. They were talking about SGA and his boards. The 4.5 is a good number. When we were at 5.5 for plus money, I would actually rather take this at 4.5 for worse odds because I don't really trust the 6 rebounds for him. It's just the rebound chances don't stay consistent for him. And I suppose there could be something now that I'm thinking about it. So what's the difference between this last game is that there was a bit more Hartenstein and he started as well. So you got a bunch of minutes there. I think that changed. Hallie guarded Dort as opposed to like Kason Wallace. So that changed things a little bit for him. Not sure. I mean, guarding Kason Wallace definitely leads to more rebounds because he's not doing anything. He's in the corner. He's really not involved in the action on offense. That helped Haliburton probably get more boards. But as far as the PA goes, I would be going under even on the 25.5. The way that I was also thinking about Haliburton was like 2+ threes, under on the assists. I really like the assists under. That's really a big part of the cap for the under on the points and assists. The potential assists are not there for him in the playoffs against this team, especially. And if you really look at him since the Bucks series, right, down to 8.5 assists per game in these last 15 games that he's played. The potential assists are down 15.3. You can see that down here, and it's right next to where the season average is as well, which nice comparison right next to each other. So he's at 15.8 potential assists per game on 9.2 assists during the regular season. In the playoffs, that's gone down in these last bunch of rounds. And if you just look at the last, 4 games that they played in the finals, the potential assists are down to 14.5. You're asking him to get 9 dimes on 14.5 potentials. They're forcing the ball out of his hands a ton. So my preferred bet here for everything for him is under on the assists. The points got super low. That's the only scary part about the PA at this point, and why I haven't pulled the trigger on the under points and assists combined for him, is these points are so low. You're really paying a premium to go under at this point, right? This is a 18 to 19 points per game score. Even in the playoffs, even in this series, he's at 17.8. Just had one game going under 16.5. The points don't really help you on this prop. That's why I like the assists by themselves more so for Haliburton. I'm going to put that up because that is how I'm feeling about Haliburton real quick. So the bottom line that's scrolling with everything is probably outdated too, by the way. I haven't updated that in like 2 games, but that's going to have the looks from the show. I'm going to write that so it's clear. Looks from the show, eyes emoji indicating looks. We're going to go with Haliburton under 8.5 assists. That's my preferred bet for Hallie. And if you don't like drinking the juice, what I mean is you don't like betting something for minus 145 odds, 150 odds, you don't want to do that. I think if you're looking for what we call a de-juicer, not my favorite thing in the world to just be like, well, add this to it. But you get a negative correlation here. If you go 15 plus points under on the dimes, you're going to get some decent plus money, because when you bet an over on one prop for a player, combine it with an under on a prop for that same player, that's negatively correlated. You think if he's doing well, he's going to do well everywhere, and he's going to have usage and whatever. So combining it with like 15 plus points, something to that effect. He's done that in 2 of 4 that he's gone under on the dimes, 15 plus points in this series. I think that's the best way to play him. And as far as the boards, just to finish the point I was making earlier, the boards 4.5. Yes, I think that it should be a good look at 4.5, even with the minus 140 odds or so. It's not the minus 140 is really what's making me stay away from it. Is like cool 5+ probably, but if there's something to him guarding Dort and that affecting his rebounds from last game, I can't make that statement because I don't have enough of a sample size, but I can say that that's a possibility, and it's kind of keeping me away from it. So appreciate the look though from you, Reef. We got Cody in here with Siakam, so let's just go down the line. Let's go right to Siakam real quick and get into what he's got. So Siakam, and I'll just remind everybody who's coming in, like this is all about you guys getting in here with the comments. So let me know what you guys got. I'm going to be coming back into the comments for what you guys had to star that stuff and keep it rolling. But let's get back to Siakam boards, right? So the rebounds are at, and this is annoying part about the finals is that with their ability to hone in on these markets, there's not that as many games going on in the NBA, so they can really focus on these lines. They make them sharp, and then the sharpness really is indicated like minus 145 to the over on 6.5, which is terrible odds, or you can take plus 115 for 7.5 to get one more rebound. It's kind of annoying. He's over on the 7.5 and 2 of 4 in this, and you can find reasons why he went under in this one. 7 boards, 30 minutes. He should be getting 5 or 6 more minutes per game as long as he's not getting fouls and they're not getting blown out. And this is a plus 9.5 point spread still, right? And I honestly still lean for the underdogs here. 9.5 points. I don't have much in this series to tell me that this team is 10 points better in this series right now than the Pacers. I'm interested to know what you guys are thinking about that. I'm not putting up a poll right now, but if you guys have any thoughts about the side, very happy to hear what you guys are thinking about the 9.5 points here, because that's kind of crazy. To me, that's insane. And what's this, 224.5? And you don't think it's going to get that high in points? I don't think they're shutting down this Pacers offense to that degree. This still looks like a 9.5 to me. I'm about to put that in here too, because that's going to be a bet for everybody who's in the VIP that's going to be waiting on if there's a side or total bet. I think Indy plus 9.5. Like, I don't know if I need to get into the specifics with y'all, but we've all been watching this series, and like this is a close series. Every game they beaten plus 9.5, except for that game 2 where they gave up, and they're not giving up at the beginning of the fourth quarter, right? They took out Pascal, they took out Nembhard, took out all their guys in the fourth quarter in this game 2 right here where they lost by 16. They gave up, and they're not doing that. They're down 16 points in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes to go. Everybody's playing the rest of that game until they're down 30 with 2 minutes left. So so the board should be a little bit safer for him. I do think that's a play. I took the PRA as a whole, And I'll tell you why while we're talking about Siakam. So what we've been talking about in this series for Siakam, honestly, PR has been a good look the whole game. Points, rebounds, we know he's going to do that. The assists and the threes are the thing that have really caught a lot of people's attention who are nerds like us that are deep in this shit, because the assists and the threes are directly related. And I talked about this in the last live, and it still holds true. So in the first 3 games of this series, let's go to the last 4. So we're just looking at the finals. If we look at the first 3 games of this series, Hartenstein did not start, right? So we're talking about Kason Wallace. That messes up the whole matchups. And I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. So stay with me, I promise. But if you look at the matchups right here, right? Hartenstein was guarding Siakam last game. That's what I got right there, down there around the power forward spot, right? Hartenstein on Siakam led to 6 3 attempts from Siakam. It led to 8 potential assists from Siakam because he's able to play out on the perimeter and have an advantage over Hartenstein. When it was not Hartenstein, when we had Kason Wallace starting, Jalen Williams right here was not guarding Nesmith. He was guarding Siakam. Siakam can't play against J-Dub on the perimeter, right? J-Dub is a way better perimeter player than Siakam. That's where he plays. And on the perimeter, he was able to stay in front of him, keep the threes from going up by closing out, and then also being able to keep him from getting into the lane and dribbling around him. And that kept him from being able to drive and get assists, right? So that limited everything. This last game, J-Dub was still guarding him. Williams was still on Siakam a lot. But Hartenstein was out there for 21 minutes, including the first 5 of the game. And that led to Siakam getting a 3 in the first quarter and 2 assists in the first quarter and doing his thing when Hartenstein came back out there and guarded him some more. So Siakam right now, I still like the threes. Again, this was plus 180 last game. I took the PRA just to be clear about what it is, and I'll put that on the bottom line. But the points are still good. 19.5 plus money. Yes, 20 plus at plus money for him. Great. The boards, 7.5, fine. If you want it for plus money, that's the riskiest bet in my opinion, but you're still looking at a really good number for the PR at 25 or 26.5. And I like adding the dimes because I just told you, I also like the assists with him playing with Hartenstein on him more. So I like adding it all together. And if you keep this under 30, 29.5 PRA, that's my preferred play for Siakam. But the boards specifically to your, my bad, I'm not sharing my screen again. Let me get back to it. That's what I was saying. That was PRA 29.5. It's only available on a few books at this number, but the key ones, right? Like DraftKings, FanDuel, especially ESPN Bet for those of y'all with it. So like pretty much everything, he's an over. However you think he's going to go over, play that prop, but that's my preferred look for Siakam is definitely an over consistently in this series. So appreciate you, Cody. And then let's just go right to SGA. Get right into that. Quick reminder to jump in there with your bets if you got them. Also appreciate if y'all are jumping in, give that video a like. Goes a long way just to help out the channel and everything we're doing here. So all right, keeping it rolling with the next one that we had. SGA, Parlay Graham, SGA and Hallie rebounds. Yeah, so I kind of talked about Hallie rebounds. I'm with it. I don't love minus 140 for something that seems like it should be a lot closer to even money for Hallie on the boards, just to revisit that real quick. And we got to get to the turnovers with Hallie too. I don't want to forget that. Let me put a pause with this. You know, I got ADD. Let me give this a pause real quick because Michael, before I get far away from Hallie, since we already capped him, what are his turnovers at? Because I might need to just get that down myself because I keep forgetting to fucking do that. Oh, yeah, we got better odds than we had. That's wonderful. Here's what we need to know about Haliburton real quick. If we go to NBA stats real quick so we can look at his touches. What are his touches like? Because that's a huge part of turnovers. We already know this team is going to be good at forcing turnovers. They got 4 all NBA defenders on their squad. But the key for Hallie is going to be, if we go to, let's keep to the whole playoffs. If we look at players on, this is NBA stats page right here. Everything all the tools I use in here are linked in the description of the video. If anybody's like, what are you doing? What are you using? They're all in the description of the video with the links to everything I'm looking at. But this is obviously just nba.com/stats. So playoffs players, I'm looking at tracking data, and that gives me drives, passing, whatever. Touches is what I'm looking at here. Let's just look at touches in the playoffs. So Cade had 105, Jokic had 103. Hallie's at 99 per game. If we look at just the finals, let's look at the last 4 games. Hallie is at 110 touches per game, right? If you're touching the ball 110 times against Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Kason Wallace, even SGA, J-Dub, like all these long-armed, freaky athletes, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take, did I even say Caruso? I'm going to go ahead and take you to get 3 turnovers, which he has done in all of these games pretty consistently, and has actually gotten 4 in 3 of the 4 games as well. If you wanted to take some plus money for that, the best number here is minus 125. You get that on 3 different books. I got to play that myself right now, so I'm gonna put this in the bottom line for y'all. But yeah, before I get too far away from this, let's get to Haliburton. over 2.5 turnovers. All right. That's on the bottom line. That is scrolling. I'm going to put this bet down real quick. I don't think my boy is watching the show either, who's supposed to get this down for me. All right, hold up. Yeah. All right. Tyrese Haliburton over 2.5 turnovers. Yeah. You know what it is. All right. Keep it rolling. Appreciate y'all's patience. All right. As we move, because the question was, yeah, we got to go back to Hallie turnovers. That's on the bottom line. Do with it what you will. Appreciate you reminding me, Mike. Another one of the VIP cappers in the Discord. If y'all are interested, Mike's got some great ideas. Yeah, Mike's got some great ideas. I'll just leave it at that. Check out his channel. Tyrese Haliburton, 2.5 turnovers, and then going back up to SGA because we were talking about him for the Rebs. And then I know some other people had looks for SGA anyway, so we might as well stick around and talk about those real quick. SGA, Shai Gilgeous, whatever you want to do with it. So the rebounds, let's just start there real quick since that's the look from Parlay Graham. Rebounds for SGA. So he's in that same boat as Hallie. The rebounds for him in this series, well, let's just look at the playoffs for a minute as a whole. If we're looking at playoffs, the playoffs for him on the boards, 5.6, the rebound chances, 10, which is up from 9 in the regular season, but not a huge jump, just probably a slight jump in minutes if I had to guess, right? He's playing 37 right now versus 35. So that's the rebound. The one more rebound chances, he's getting about 1 rebound chance per 3 minutes. He's playing 3 more minutes. Math. If we look at why he's getting boards, it's usually matchups, right? I try to talk about this a lot. For those of y'all who might not be familiar at this point, I'll just quickly show you. If you're going into the box scores on NBA.com, in the NBA, not in the WNBA, but in the NBA, you can get the you'll get the matchups. You'll see who the primary defender is, and who is defending whom is like a major part of rebounding because of the fact that that sort of dictates where you're standing on the floor, right? If you're guarding a guy who plays down low, you're probably gonna be closer to down low. If you're playing guarding SGA or you're guarding a guy on the ball, you're probably not getting as many rebounds because you're focused on guarding the guy who's always dribbling or shooting. And so you're not as likely to be able to find the board and just be looking at the rebound. But if we go into the box score, you can change traditional here to matchups. And this is where we can see what it is. So I want to see SGA for the most part, who he's guarding, because things get messed up. So he's guarding Nesmith in part because, right, when Hartenstein is out there, he guards Nesmith. When when Kason Wallace is out there, somebody else that's not Hartenstein, when they're not going double big, then he's guarding Nembhard. That's really what this comes down to. So when he's guarding a guy like Nembhard or Ben Shepherd, even Nesmith, he should be good for the rebounds. What did he have in this last game? He had 10 board chances and 3 boards. I don't love him to get this is about a fair bet. This is what we call a fair bet. If you're getting this at even money, I think 5.5 is the exact cap that you have for him, right? 37 to 40 minutes is what you expect from him. 5.6, 5.5 boards is what he's at in the playoffs. This is fair. I think this is a legit 50-50 bet. Do with that what you will. I think if you play this at plus 100, that's the definition of a fair bet. It is exactly 50-50 in my eyes and my projections. And it is 50-50 in the odds here at plus 100. That's a 50, right? The 50% chance. So I don't hate it. I just am not necessarily going to be betting that myself when I think there's a couple other things that we can look at. So, but sorry, let me at least just finish the SGA cap real quick, because I know that everyone's going to be talking about other stuff. I did a little something cheeky here. I went 30 plus points, under 45.5 PRA, and I'm probably got a shit number now. It's up to 46.5 because I'm an idiot, and I didn't wait for it. But the under 45.5 got me plus 3. What was it? Plus 300, plus 320. Bet 365 for that little parlay. So I'm saying he's going to get 30 plus, but hopefully he gets like 30, 32 points, and then he doesn't get the 15 RA that he needs. Really, like the RA is at 11.5. And so if I'm saying he needs like 13 or 14 based on my cap here, I feel pretty good about it. So the points at 30 plus, he's done this in 2 of the 4 games, mostly because he went over on the PRA just once in this series. That was game 2. And then he did not get 30 points in this one. But in the last game and the first game, he went under this and got so he got points 30 plus, under on the PRA. That's what I did with SGA. I don't like the assist for him more than anything. it's just they're hella juiced and they're already going down to 5.5 on some books. But this is the exact series for him to be getting points and not assists. Talk about that with the Pacers for any of y'all who have not heard me talk about it or anybody else. The Pacers do not double team. They're really not even double teaming him. There has not been like this mix up of looks. Basically, the way that I've seen them guard him, going back and watching tape, whatever, they do not double team him unless he is on the baseline or in the fourth quarter. If things are getting tight and they want to make sure that he's not scoring, then in the fourth quarter, they might bring the double a little bit higher up. But for the most part, they're not doubling him unless he's on the baseline. And then they like that double there, which makes sense. You got him in the corner. Or if once he gets into the lane, then they're bringing help defenders, but that's it. And in the fourth quarter, they might mix it up. Point is if you're not double teaming him, then that means you're keeping your other defenders on the shooters, which means that they're not going to be able to get catch and shoot assists from him, right? So that's why you go under on the points, and if they're under on the assists, over on the points. And like I said, I got cheeky with it, went points 30 plus, under on the PRA. That got me 3-1. If you can get close to 3-1 for that type of play, I think that's a clever play. It's something he's done pretty consistently actually in the play. I mean, look at the 46.5 PRA real quick. That's a 14 out of 20 hit rate that he's gone under on the 46.5 PRA. If you look at 30 plus points, and we dumb this down to over 29.5 so that you can see how many times he's hit 30. Well, he's hit 30, 14 out of 20. So there's 14 out of 20 potential games. I think it ended up being 9 games when I looked it up. 9 games where he's gotten 30 plus and under on the 46.5 PRA. 46.5 PRA is stupid, y'all. Like, I love Shai. He's a credible player. 42 during the playoffs, 44 during the regular season. He 46.5, like, it's not Jokic. I'm sorry. It's not Jokic Doncic stuff. This is a better score. But anyway, so that's where I'm at with SGA. Hopefully that helps. No real opinion on the threes other than they're probably accurately priced. And I would, anything like minus 130 or better, I'd probably be taking over before I took under. He's still getting some attempts up. Took 9 in the last game. He's got 5 attempts. Should be good for 2 of them. Anyway, that's it for SGA for me. Let's get to Holmgren. Chet, where you at, Chet? So under on the threes for Chet. Interesting look here. Let's get into it. Threes for the Chetster. Somebody calls him the Chetster, right? We all got to agree he's the Chetster to somebody. Playoffs. Threes, what's it's been? Yeah, not very good, huh? Under, and it's -1. Yeah, you got to drink all that juice for the Chetster here. If you're going under on the threes, if we look at the attempts head to head in the playoffs, head to head, clearly going under this. 1 attempt, 3, 6. That was a sweat, and then 1 last game. Let's look at this Hartenstein stuff. So Hartenstein and him were on the floor together last game for 10 minutes. Talked about that in the episode from last night. Hartenstein and him were on the floor for 10 minutes together. In those 10 minutes, they dominated the boards. But what I want to look at real quick is OKC. This is on-off stuff. I've showed you guys this before, but I'm looking at, let's do regular season and playoffs. Advanced per 36. Let's do standard minutes. I'll just show you what I'm talking about here for a sec. I want to see what happens when Hartenstein and Chet are on the court together. What's been the sort of patterns here that we've seen? Where's Hartenstein right here? So if we put both those guys on court, right? So they're both on the court now. And what are their numbers? So they played 532 minutes together between the regular season and the playoffs. Let's look at the threes actually real quick. 3-point attempts. When these two are on the floor together, Chet is at 5.4. This is per 36 minutes. And they're not playing 36 minutes together. They're playing 10. So let's say this is, you cut this by a third, probably 1.5 3-point attempts. That's good. If he's on the floor with Hartenstein, it doesn't look like he's taking very many threes. If we look at a couple other things real quick, what does that do? Because I wanted to look at the dimes too. I took under on Chet assists, and that's good. Chet is at 2.3 assists per 36 when he's on the floor with Hartenstein. So Hartenstein's kind of validating some of the stuff I'm talking about with my bet for Chet on his under on the dimes. I think the 3-point makes sense too. This is the difference in the stats. So let me see this real quick. Hold on. So yeah, if you look at Chet, everything kind of goes down when he's on court with Hartenstein. So the difference in his stats, the 3-point attempts go down. Nope, they're about the same. Yeah, he actually shoots about the same amount with or without him. For the dimes, those go nowhere as well. Yeah, they're about the same. Okay, so he's not really impacting the assists or the dimes relative to his other stats when Hartenstein's not on the floor with him. So, all right, either way, it still like validates that it's a good look if he's at basically 1 assist. But the assists I like better. The threes, I not for that juice. If he takes 3 of them, minus 174. Just there's other ways to spend my money in the finals right now, I think, than the under on the threes. But it's a good look if this was at like a playable number, like minus 135. Might be able to start up talking about it, but probably not at that one. All right, Hallie on the steals. I keep forgetting to look at everything we got for him. So let's just get him out of the way here, because I think that's the very last prop we could even possibly talk about with our boy. Steals, he's been money, right? Yeah, 2 in each of these games. You're getting plus 148. So yeah, at these odds, bro, this is strictly just like a numbers play. If you think he's going to be out there for the amount of minutes, which we know he is, 36 plus, the steals should be good for about 1. If you're getting plus money for him to get 2, probably a good look. Probably not something I'm going to play, but it's definitely been a nice hit rate in this series, especially. So let's talk about Lugens Dort, the Canadian, right? Yeah, Canadian. Lou on the threes. I did take 1.5. I drank the juice. I played minus 158 for him to hit 2 threes. I need a W. I've lost 6 units in the last 2 finals games, so I need the W. 5.7, but who's counting? 1.5. I am 1.5 threes for 2. We're still looking at his splits, right? We're still doing the home away splits for Lou Dort, right, in the playoffs. 2.7 threes made on 7. Let's look at the attempts real quick. If I look at 3PA and advanced filters right here, I can see 7.1 attempts per game at home in the playoffs. Way better than on the road, where if we do that, we're looking at 4.7 attempts from 3 on the road, making 1.3, right? So yeah, he's at 2.7 per game. This has hit in 8 of 11 home games, not away. That's the key for us. So if he's going to be at 7 attempts, and I'm even at those odds for him to get the 2 threes, like that was fine. And I figured people who see me take him 2+ threes are going to like him for that for one of their parlay legs, since I know y'all be playing the parlays. So for 3 at home, let's bump this up. Hit rate's still nearly 50% at home in the offs for 3 threes, and you're getting plus, what's the plus money for it? It's like plus 150 for him to hit 3 of them, right? Let me get let's just go to FanDuel for a minute. We'll just start there for the trace trays for Lou, Big Lou. Player threes. 3 made threes. Okay, 200. Yeah, if you're getting 2-1 for him on the 3 threes, that's a look. We said he's basically at 50%, so I think that still gives you an edge for the 3 threes if you wanted to ladder it up. Like I said, I just need a fucking W. So I took the 2 threes for minus 158. Give me my $60 or whatever, and I'll keep it moving. All right. So, but yeah, if you want Lou Dort on the 3 threes and you get that 2-1 money, then I think that's the look for sure. So, all right, keeping it rolling. Obi. I'm assuming most people are old enough to remember when Pedro Martinez called the Yankees his daddy. Maybe not everybody. Shit, that was 20 years ago? Fuck, maybe you don't remember it. Maybe some of y'all. Anyway, kind of got to tell everybody that Obi at this point, like, Obi's my daddy, because I just keep trying to bet under on him and it doesn't work. So 17.5 PRA, though, is not 15.5 PRA. It's more, but I think he went over that last game anyway. Obi had that shit at halftime. And he's playing 28, 29 minutes. And I believe it was JK in the, I'm not sure if he's in here, but one of the guest cappers in the VIP Discord. Wow, he had 17 points by him alone, and then 25 PRA. But here's the point that JK brought up, which is a good point. Let me just put what he said in the comments, and I'll do that. But if you're in here, JK, I'm stealing your thunder. Let's see, and I'll get back into the comments. I see a bunch of y'all back in there. But this is what JK said, and I agree with it. And I had to get it in too. So he said, just based on eye tests, I think Obi will continue to get more usage. Siakam was completely gassed, and Turner isn't a transition threat, and Indy wants to run and prevent OKC from setting up their half-court offense. Toppin should get a good dose of minutes to keep Siakam fresh. I agree with that. So I was trying to find reasons why this man was playing 28, 19, and 25 minutes in this series. And that is a good reason right there, is a lot of the matchup that he brings. And this is a good type of player against OKC. It's a dude who can still rebound and shoot threes on the spot up. And if they're going to give him the spot up, he's going to hit an open 3. And he's athletic enough to get up and get boards, obviously. And then he's been athletic enough to get around this team and up and over this team as well. he brings a dynamic that nobody else on this team brings. Like nobody in the league brings the dynamic of Obi Toppin. Because I was talking about this with my boy the other day. I was like, this dude, if he jumps, has to reach the highest point of anybody when they jump in the NBA, right? Like his reach at the very top of his jump has to be higher than anyone's with his size combined with his hops. Because I mean, he can touch the top of the backboard. I don't think there's very many dudes in the NBA who could do that. So anyway, I can't fade him, is the point of what I'm really getting at here. Is I can't fade him because I can't tell you that he's been playing too many minutes. If I could come up with some reason why he's been overperforming, I'd get there. But in 29 minutes, this dude is going to be at 17.5 PRA. In fact, let's just look at what he is on the season. Let's go to Indiana per 36 minutes. Let's just do, regular season and playoffs. Because per 36 is going to be closer to his minutes average right now. He's playing 30 basically, 28, but still. His PRA. So if we're looking at, where's he at? Right here, Obi. So for Obi, if we're talking about points, he's at 18.5 per 36. Right off the bat, we're talking about like 15 per, let's do this per minute so I can just multiply it, or per game, per minute. For Obi, I mean, you get it. You get my point. Basically, at 30 minutes, he's at like 15 points. So if he's going to get those kind of minutes, I can't fade him. And it does make sense that he would continue to get these kind of minutes. Appreciate that, Cap, from JK to point that out to my stubborn ass who was like, no, Obi doesn't get 17, 18. Like, look at this hit rate. Look at him during the regular season. Yeah, but if you want to look at him during the regular season, what about the games where he actually played 30-something minutes? Let's look at that real quick. Let's give him 28 to 30. Yeah, I mean, even if you just give him 28 plus, and let's cap it at 32. He barely ever even did that, dude. Barely ever even did that. Let's give him 26 to 30, 25 to 30 minutes, 24 to 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying? At 24 to 30 minutes, this dude is at 20 PRA per game. Let's say we say 20 to 30 minutes total here. He's at 19.7 PRA in this 21. Like, if he's getting minutes, then he's going to be good for it, and he's getting minutes. This is wild. So plus 110 for Chet, but what are his boards at this game? Let's get back to Chet real quick since I didn't look at this, and this is a good look from Van Negro Jones. Chet. So let's do playoffs. Not PRA, double. Let's look at the boards real quick. That's what I wanted to get to. 9.5 is even money. So I mean, 10 plus points should be a lock. I almost think you probably get this better at let me see if you do that. I don't know if that for sure, but let's say you get Chet 10 plus boards. Even money plus Chet 10 plus points. That's not going to help you out. Plus 103. Okay, so the double, if you get it for plus 110 somewhere, is going to be a better look. They don't have that yet on the Props Madness. So let's just player count for a minute. Plus 120 right here. So you actually getting, you could probably get a better number than that, bro. If you're looking for Chet double. If you think he's good for the boards, then yeah, there's no reason to think that the 10 points is not going to be a good look there. So without having to go too far into that, it's just about the number on the boards and the points. Points you expect the 10 plus. Like he's going to be getting 10 plus the way he's been finally like playing 35 to 37 minutes. And if he's going to play 35 plus minutes, then you got to like him for the boards, right? So that's why I faded the assists for Chet. I didn't touch anything on the boards or anything. I learned my lesson after trying to fade him on the boards, but I thought he wasn't in line for 30 to 35 minutes per game, and now he is, right? If you look at the first 4 games of this series, where are we at? I've got to go this way. First 2 games of this series, 24 minutes, 28 minutes, and then everything just shot up to 35, 37. He got some confidence, and so now he's out there for those minutes. So yeah, I think he's still good for plus money on a double. That's probably a good look as well for the Chetster. Nembhard under on the RA, hell yes. I actually combine that with the 10 plus points for him, and I actually do like Nembhard on over 10.5 points. A couple of things I want to show you all about Nembhard. So yeah, the points, first of all, let's just look at the RA, my bad. Rebounds and assists for Nemby under is minus 130. That's juice. This was 8.5 in the last game, just so y'all know. And I hope you guys are checking that out. And you're looking at the past games and the past lines of these guys. There's a link in the description of the video as well that'll give you that if you want it. I'm just going to briefly show it to you because I think this is really important. This is the betting pros. There's probably a bunch of sites that do this, but this just has a nice chart for you of each player's recent games, right? So if you go to Nembhard and the recent lines that they closed at, that's what I really care about. The recent lines that they closed at, right? So this tells me was yesterday's price today's price, right? Like we know from our boy, come on, man, Cheese. Thank you. From Cheese. I'm not going to say Method Man because his character's Cheese. So Cheese taught us yesterday's price is not today's price. This is currently on points. The rebounds and assists, where are those at? Rebounds and assists. Right. So yeah, 8.5 has been the line. If you wanted to go under that, great. But now you got to take under 7.5, and it's juiced to -130. So that tells you people have been playing this. And the reason is his involvement in the offense. So let's just look at this through the last 4 games. So we're in the playoffs. 10 in the first game, 8 rebound chances, and 12 potential assists. The potential assists are what stand out to you. Then 6 and 5, right? In terms of the rebound chances, potential assists, you don't expect someone to get 4 dimes on 5 potential assists, right? You expect them to get about 50 to 55% of their potential assists turning into actual materialized assists. Well, that means that he ran hot, right? He got kind of lucky there. Then he had 5. And also the 8 is, like I said, 7.5. That's a bad beat. Then 7 rebound chances, 3 potential assists. You feel me, right? Like 10 total RAs, potential RAs, 11 potential RAs. Let's put it that way. 10 potential RAs, right? So if you're at 10 or 11 potential RAs, rebounds and assists combined, easy way to say it, then yeah, I like you to get 50% of those, right? Maybe 60, but that still puts you at 6. You need 8. He's just not involved in the offense. He looks scared more than anything, but he is still a spot up shooter. And that is still a good thing to be against the Thunder defense, who are going to force the ball out of the hands of the dudes they don't want to have the ball, the Siakams and mostly Haliburton. Let's just be honest. They're going to try to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. And it's going to go into the hands of the Nembhards, the Miles Turners, even the Aaron Nesmiths, right? That's where the ball is going to end up on the spot up. So for Nembhard, I like the over 10.5 points. I got that at even money. And the other thing I want to point about the points is, and I also did a parlay, by the way, 10 plus points for Nembhard under 7.5 RA got me better than 2-1 on my money for him to get the 10 plus under on the rebounds and assists parlayed together. The points, though, to make one more point about the points, we look at him in the playoffs this year. Playoffs? I say it every time. 11.5 points per game. So still over the 10.5 number. But look at him on the road. Our boy is a road warrior. So when you look at him away in this series or in these playoffs, get back to playoffs. That's what the problem was. 13.8 points per game, right? Which means he's about 2 points better than when he's at home. That actually dates back to last season, where he was at 13.7 points per game on the road. Actually, was actually better at home last year. But this year, he's slightly better on the road by about 2.5 points per game on the points factor there. So I think if you're going to leave him open as a spot up, he still is taking about 8 to 10 shots per game. That's enough for me to take him over 10.5 points. I wish he was more aggressive, but I think you fade the playmaking or the rebounding stuff and you go for the points. As far as the rebounds go, like he's never going to be in line for a ton of rebounds against this squad, because of the fact that he's guarding SGA. So getting actually having about 7 rebound chances actually feels kind of high for him. I think he's usually at about 5 or 6. So to go under there's a reason that's -150. Let's put it that way. And as I was saying, who you're guarding matters so much when it comes to the rebounds, right? So I like the under because he's guarding the guy shooting the ball 30 freaking times a game, which is SGA. So let me try to get back to the comments here and see what y'all are talking about. But also would ask that y'all just give the video a like if any of this is helping you out. If it's not helping you out, you don't got to give it a like, but I'm not really sure why you're kicking it here. I mean, it's certainly not to hear my voice. All right. Let me get into the comments though, because I know y'all are going to be talking to me, which I appreciate. We got a lot of stuff in here that I missed. Let's see if I can. Oh, I knew JK was around. I hope you heard me steal your shit earlier, because that was a good look on the Obi top and stuff. And the RA on J Dub under been a wagon compared to his PRA. Books actually bumped the typical 10.5 to 11.5. He's been going under, but he's got aggressive right on the points. That's what it is. Let's get to J Dub. Look, this I think this is still only available on about 3 books, but I had to play it. +110 for him to go over 1.5. On the boards. I think there's just a lot of stuff trending upward for the minutes for him in the first quarter. So I think first quarter props are actually a pretty good look for J-Dub at this point. 4.5 points, 5.5 points even on the first quarter bets. I think that's a good look. Like I got to imagine he's going to keep playing about at least 10 minutes in the first quarter because they are trying to give SGA more of a break throughout the game, right? So SGA came out for the first time in the first quarter last game. That put J-Dub in there as the primary scorer and ball handler and everything. Ended up with 12 points on 6 shots plus 6 free throw attempts, Bro is going crazy. If you can get a free throw bet down for him, please keep doing it. He's going absolutely insane. I think he was at 3.5 or 4.5 free throws in this last game on the attempts alone. He's just going crazy with the aggression. So good on him, because he needed to be that way and stop just shooting all the threes and get to the bucket. I love all the first quarter stuff for him if you want to play that. And then if you're talking about the RA, though, this is an interesting look, because I like when we can get this. So, okay, looks like it's bumped down in some spots, and you can still get under 11.5 if you want. This has been a wagon, to your point. Let's look at the potential stuff here, especially in the finals. Potential assists in the finals have been down, right? 7.8 potential assists per game in the finals. Not nearly as good. And that makes sense. Again, they're not double teaming anybody. They're really going to keep one-on-one with J-Dub as well. So he's going to try to take his guy rather than pass and kick it, because those other defenders are sticking to the shooters that he could pass to. Yeah, that makes sense. Then what about the boards? That would be a little bit scarier. The chances 11-8. So the thing that would scare me about the rebounds and adding it to the under here is the switch up on defense once again, which is if he's guarding Aaron Nesmith, which he did in the first quarter to open the game, right? That's going to scare me a bit. I believe I'm still in matchup. So if I go back into this game, this box score here, if you look at J-Dub on defense, Jalen Williams, he did guard Pascal for 4 minutes for 420, but that isn't how they started, right? He guarded Nesmith for 220 in this game, because that was mostly when Hartenstein was on the floor. And Hartenstein played that 21 minutes in this game. Should be expecting that. If he starts, that's what we should be expecting from him. And if he starts, that means the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, Jalen Williams is guarding Aaron Nesmith for sure, which means the rebounds are a better look, because Jalen Williams on Aaron Nesmith means he's playing on an off-ball guy in the corner who rarely has the ball in his hands unless he's shooting or got it to drive to the rim. So that means J-Dub is often going to be able to just have one eye on his guy in the corner, one eye on the bucket and where the ball is, and then able to go chase down the board, because he's not guarding Pascal, who's shooting 18 times a game or going to the rim, right? You get my point. So the boards scare me a bit more on the under for Jalen Williams. Big points and rebounds are a big reason why I was like, okay, I surrendered to the under. I'm not playing under 33.5 PRA for J-Dub anymore. He's not the same shell of a person that he was earlier in the playoffs, right? When earlier in the playoffs, his shot attempts were way down. So yeah, I think overs for our boy is the play. If you're going to go under, the assists still look good, and that's because they're high, and that's why they're minus 160. So look, the rebounds and assists combined is still a wagon, to your point. 10.5, it just scares me a little bit more with the way that the matchups are and the board specifically. So I'm staying away from everything other than those first quarter rebounds, because plus money for something he's done throughout the playoffs and consistently since he's been getting more minutes, especially these 11. Like I said, this is my preferred bet for J-Dub. The RA, love it. I'm just poking holes in it, which JK and I do that for each other's bets. We poke holes in shit. That's what you want your friends to do, is not just be like, yeah, I love your bet, man. Great job. You're great. Like, tell me why you don't like it, because that might help me not make a stupid bet, right? All right, keep coming with the comments. I got, 15-ish minutes here. We can keep going, though. Check out the bottom line as well. If you're missing anything, I put most of the stuff we've talked about here, but I kind of missed some stuff. So just a little recap too, because I see Chico the dog. I like that name. Siakam over PRA. I took. Yep. I do think 30.5 is playable, but make sure you're not getting too bad of odds on that. Yes. Thank you, T Boogie. Let's get to my boy Nesmith. I got a lot of respect for Nesmith's game, dude. I saw is Daft in here too? My bad. Look, I wanted to see. Yeah. Check out what Daft has to say. Hopefully y'all are familiar. I'm sure you are. Some of y'all are probably only here because you know Daft. Yeah, there we go. See, y'all are like, yo, Daft's in here. Nah, dude. I got a cup of water. He's making fun of me when I used to fucking go crazy on them. Anyway, yeah, Mike's channel is in the VIP Discord. There's a link in the description. You get it in the Discord either way, though, for Mike. He's for the people. And yeah, it's the Mushroom channel. So it's gonna be some crazy looks. But all right, I'm gonna get back to Nesmith and just let the ADD wash over me. My boy Voodoo Ranger added one leg to my bet here. SGA 30 plus, under on the PRA with the money line for OKC gets you to plus 580. It's pretty good. And you took the under. Oh, damn. So you want them to win, but they can't be scoring more than 117. That's crazy. That's wild. Plus 580. Yeah. Hopefully you get that. That's crazy. You added two legs to it. That's crazy. But 6-1 is nice. So you were talking about Nesmith. Let's get into Aaron Nesmith. So there's a lot of stuff that just trends upward for Nesmith. This is one of these bets that I kind of call just playing the number, right? So a lot of time we talk about matchup. Is the spot good? Do we expect him to get more minutes in this spot? Is the matchup good in this spot where he's got a bad defender on him, or the way the defense plays is a plus matchup for Aaron Nesmith, which I would say, yes, it is. All of that stuff aside, the matchup, all the spot, whatever, the number is too low, right? This dude, first of all, the 10.5 points. Okay, he hasn't been shooting well. He hasn't gotten the points in this series, right? He's averaging in the last 4 just 9.8. So I get why that would be a little bit shaky. If you look at the rebounds, because we're talking about PR, the rebounds, right, he's at 6.8. We're getting this at 4.5. So it seems like we got value there. And then if you look at the playoffs as a whole and you just do all of the games in the playoffs, this is still low. 5.8 throughout the playoffs. The points, 13.2 throughout the whole playoffs. So I would rather have the larger sample size and what that's telling me than just these games, because if I can dive into these 4 games, I can probably come up with some pretty good reasons why he is or is not doing what we need him to. First of all, this is down to 15.5. It's mostly 16.5, which is what I got it at, because I did bet this over on the PR for Nesmith, which let me just put that in here because I've been slacking on letting y'all know what we've been talking about. So Nesmith over 16.5 PR. Let me put just Nembhard in here because I remember there were some bets that Nembhard under 7.5 RA / over 10.5 points, because that's what we looked at for him. And then I'm forgetting other stuff, but I'll get back to it. All right. So for Nesmith on the points, just starting with the points, they've been bad for sure. But 10 in the first game, 9 shots, did not shoot well, but hit all 3 of his threes that helped him get there. Then the second game goes 4 for 8 from 3. Most of his shots are threes, obviously, by the way, but only played 26 minutes in that game too. So right off the bat, there's kind of a reason why some of his stuff might be down. 26 minutes there, then 22 minutes in game 3. Everything looked really bad in game 3. And this pulled all of his averages down too, because of how bad he was. But it was 22 minutes, so he only got 5 shots off, including 2 threes. The fouls, it's just the fouls. If he's fouling too much, then he's in trouble. But the games that he managed to stay out of foul trouble, the first one in this last game, played 30 plus minutes, took 9 shots, took 5 threes. So the points are still there, and I'm adding them to the boards. When you look at this, you kind of say, well, the rebounds seem a little bit better. As an individual prop, the rebounds seem like you'd rather play them. In the games where he played 30 minutes, he had 19 and 12 rebound chances, and you got his boards at 4.5. So that's very beatable. If you just wanted to play the rebounds, I would do that over the points. Right? If you're only going to play one and not the combo, because maybe you can't or you don't want to, but whatever the case may be, I way prefer the rebounds. It's just I'm putting them together because, one, obviously the hit rate's nice. The rebounds have carried this prop over in all of these games, so you need them. Game 2, though, I will say he had 14 points and 4 boards, right? So the points carried him, and that's my point. Is one of these 2 I think is going to carry him, or he's just going to do well in both, as long as he gets 30 minutes. And the likelihood that he gets 30 is higher than not, because it is more likely that he can avoid 3 damn fouls in the first half, or 4 in one game in the first half. It's more likely than he is going to keep doing that. That's my thing with him. So if he's at 28 minutes, he's 19 PR per game in the playoffs, even in the regular season. I forget what he was, so let me not talk out of my ass. But I'm pretty sure he was way better than that. 16. All right, so the regular season, 16. On the season. Either way, 15.5, 16.5, when they're trying to get him up to 30 minutes, they're trying to, man. I promise. If he can get up there, then he's good for that. So like the Nesmith look on the PR specifically, and get both of those together for sure. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna keep going down as much as I can. I did take McConnell on the PA once again. You took him on the PRA. Let me see if there's a difference there. But I do like McConnell on the points and assists. This last game, and this is why I'm honestly stubbornly going back to it. This last game, he had 10 potential assists and got 2 of them. And if you took the points by themselves, you got it, because it was like 7.5 for like plus or even money. And he took 7 shots once again. This dude, you don't look at the minutes. The 18 minutes, look at the touches, look at the shot attempts. Like, his usage rate is stupid high. It's like second on the team, because when he's actually on the floor for 15 to 18 minutes, he's taking a million shots, right? Which they want him to do. And he's pushing the shit out of the pace, right? He plays at like 102 pace when he's on the floor. So they get more possessions, and he's touching the ball 3rd most on the team, by the way, or 4th most after Siakam, Nemby, and Haliburton. He's got the 4th most touches on this team in the playoffs, and he's playing like the 7th, 8th minute in minutes or whatever. Let's look at all season segments in the playoffs. Let's make this the Pacers. Just want to show y'all what I'm talking about. If I'm on NBA stats page and I look up the Indy Pacers players stats here, I'm on touches. You can ask me how I got there if you want, but touches in the playoffs, TJ McConnell's 4th on this team in 16 minutes per game. So he has half the minutes of people that he has more touches than. That's what I need to know about TJ McConnell and his involvement. Is don't look at the minutes, look at the touches per minute, the shots per minute, etc. So the rebounds, do those help you at all? Let's see. Head to head in the playoffs, they haven't in the playoffs. 4 rebound chances, 5, 4, and 4, and he's at 1.5. So I don't mind adding the PRA. In this series, why it didn't help him last game. I think the PA is the best play. The rebounds I don't trust as much, in part because while he is picking up the pace and whatever, I've talked about what's important with rebounds. Who are you guarding? Definitely. But minutes. Rebounds are also just going to be heavily reliant upon minutes because it's a little bit of a luckier stat, right? The ball does need to bounce your way. First, they need to miss. Then the ball needs to bounce your way, whatever. So there's more luck with rebounds. But if you're out there for minutes, then I can bank on you tripping and falling into a damn rebound if you're out there long enough, right? TJ McConnell's not out there long enough to fall and trip into those rebounds. So I do prefer the points and assists as opposed to the PRA on the 10.5 here. That's what I bet for him once again. Again, slightly stubbornly because the 10 potential assists dicking me and only turning into 2 assists. We ain't having that. We're going back to it. So I agree with you, King. That's where I'd be going on that one. Thunder are covering tonight from Ken Thrower. We're in disagreement there, but let me know why. I mean, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah, it's going to be Siakam. So yeah, I didn't know you were doing that, Mike, but that's who it is. It's Siakam is second in touches. So yeah, definitely over on some Siakam stuff. Let's talk about don't worry, bro. You're gonna get your 3. You won't need to cry, I promise. Yeah. So ES Gooner 7 says Mathurin getting the free throw line. Yeah. 3.5. All right, let's talk about Benny Matts in general. His minutes are volatile for sure. And that's what I was talking about with people last game with Benedict Mathurin. Please don't get mad at me for calling him Benny Matts because Mathurin is, I don't have time for that amount of syllables. But some people get hella mad about nicknames. Like that's often the most like aggressive comments on the YouTube videos are like, stop calling that dude by that nickname. And I'm like, all right, my bad. Yo, shit. All right. Anyway, Benedict Mathurin on the 8.5 points. Minus 106 for the points. You're talking about the free throws. So last game still had 8 free throws last game, fam. So what is it? 3.5 on the attempts, right? Yeah. Free throw attempts. Well, what's the attempts? So the made is 3.5, right? Because if the attempts was 3.5, I like it. I mean, I love it, but it's probably not because what's he at in this series, real quick? And this is only what, like Prize Picks, Underdog. I think Bet365 might have attempts at this point. But I couldn't get down more than 250 on the attempts. My point is they're going to limit you with what you can bet on the max bet on those attempts. I'm pretty sure 8, and 7, and even in the game you played 16, you said 4. So 3.5 is on the makes. I'm assuming, right? Yeah, because there's no way that someone who's at like 7 free throw attempts in this series is going to be at 3.5 right now. Let's see. Yeah, that's true too. It is a violation, just Fred. I agree. That's silly. Just move your finger over a little bit and just hit that button real quick. Let me star this for you too, Voodoo Ranger. I see you with a bet over there, but I'm gonna keep going so I don't lose focus here. I don't even know why I came down this far on what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I was just seeing if you kind of came back at me with the attempts or the makes here on the free throws. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But for the attempts, if it's 3.5 makes, I can get next to it. I mean, it's just the minutes I can't really talk about for Benedict Mathurin with any kind of like certainty because here's what I still don't know. But here's what I was saying before this game where he played 14 minutes, right? To everybody that was still like, Benedict Mathurin's only 10.5 points. He's coming off 27, right? And there's a lot of smart people in this chat. So I know most of the people in this chat aren't falling victim to that type of shit. But like even ES Gooner is asking about it, right? ES Gooner was like, I know his minutes are volatile. I know what I should be looking for, but I'm just asking like, what do you think? And that's my favorite type of commenter is like, I have my thoughts. What are your thoughts? So here they are as I filibuster forever. First game, plays 16 minutes. I thought he looked awesome. I really thought he should play more minutes. And then he played 22. The problem is I don't know if Rick Carlisle agreed with me that Benedict Mathurin looked good, or if they lost by 16 and Benedict Mathurin was playing 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. That's 5 minutes he's not normally getting in the fourth quarter if it's a close game, for the most part. Plus, there were foul trouble for guys like Nemhard and Pascal and even Neesmith, right? So that led to him playing 22 minutes. And I don't know if this 22 minutes is because Benedict Mathurin is the Carlisle thinks Mathurin should play more, or if this 22 minutes was because of a blowout, or if this 22 minutes was because there was foul trouble for other guys ahead of him in the rotation. Then we come to this game. Plays another 22 minutes, scored 27 points on 75% from the field and 8 free throws. You don't take him out when he hasn't missed a shot. He became the primary ball handler in the fourth quarter at one point in this game because he was so good, and Haliburton was on the bench. And they kept Haliburton on the bench for like another 2 minutes because Mathurin wouldn't miss a shot. But if he's not hitting that many shots like that, is he going to get the amount of time? The answer in this game was no. He played 14 minutes. He didn't do anything wrong. He was really aggressive. I thought he could have played 20 once again, but he didn't. And so I can't trust the minutes. I just don't know what's going to happen with him. I thought I couldn't trust the minutes with Obi, and it was a similar situation where with Obi, it was like, if he's not making shots, then Obi's not playing. That was true in the regular season. Apparently, it's not true anymore. Obi's playing 28 to 30, but I can't get there with Benny Matz at this point. Like, I don't know if it's 14. I don't know if it's 22. So I'm just staying away straight up. Or if I'm playing Benedict Mathurin, I'm playing what we call value, right? And I'm only saying, okay, the only reason I'm playing high upside value. The only reason I'm playing Benedict Mathurin props to the over is because I think his minutes are projection should be higher, right? The books probably have him at 15 minutes or so because in 15 minutes per game, he averages about 8.5 points. But if I think he's going to play 20 to 22 minutes, then let's just say fuck it and go over 10 plus or 15 plus points. Parlay it with the rebounds and the dimes, because if the minutes projection for him, if I have a higher minutes projection for him than what the books are saying here, I might as well just go balls to the wall with it and just say, all right, well, then he's going to have a really good game. So if you're going to play Benedict Mathurin, just go 10 plus or 15 plus points. Don't be messing with the core lines. That's where I'm at with it, with him. So, because the volatility is like, fine, play a high floor. And if it's a low ceiling, it's like, it's no sweat. Either it's no sweat because he's playing a lot of minutes and he's going to get that shit, or it's no sweat because he's not playing a lot of minutes and you know right away that bet's not cashing and you don't even got to sweat about it. So, all right, we're coming up on time. Let me see if there's anything that I missed from y'all that we got to make sure we see. To answer your question, Cody, if the odds are good enough, I say yes. But this would have to be like plus 120 for me to go under on 7.5 dimes for him. But again, I told you he's at 14 potential assists per game for Haliburton on the dimes. So 14 potential assists to get 8. If you're getting plus money for that, then I think that's a good bet for sure. The one I starred to make sure I don't miss it. Hartenstein quarter 1 rebounds under, feels a bit. Red line is 7.5 moving down, but it's quarter 1 under 2.5. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if he's starting, then it's scary, because if he's starting and he gets 6 minutes, he's capable of getting 3 boards. But I do way prefer an under for Hartenstein all over the place, including on anything even in the first quarter. If you're getting some value, he might not even start. We don't know. Dagnall's changed it up twice in the last 5 games of the playoffs for this team, so we don't even know for sure. So yeah, I think that if you're looking for him, especially in the first quarter, whatever, under is the play. Interesting. Yeah. So we were on the same look here. I'm finally getting to Dav's thing from forever ago, but he's saying pounded the J-Dub rebounds into the core of the earth, praying the last game's first quarter rotations. It's a hilarious visual. Praying the last game's first quarter rotations with him and SGA hold, or he's going to be out on the street betting too much over his beads here. Yes, I agree. That's the part that scares me about the under on the RA for him at the end of the day. But let's see. Yeah, right. All of us, bro. The playoffs have been, or the finals specifically, have been a little bit tough. I feel that. Blocks and steals. I don't know. Chet's been playing, Chet's definitely dropping on the defense, so the blocks could still be there for him. He does get in the lane for the steals. Like, I wouldn't necessarily be fading it. If the minutes are high for him once again, which at this point we just gotta assume he's going to keep playing that amount of minutes, barring foul trouble. So the the blocks and steals. 2.5 is juiced. Yeah. Oh, it's 2.5 though. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I guess that's fair. The steals are kind of what helps you get there though, right? Yeah, which is the steals under. Plus 100 for the steals. Yeah, it's a dicey bet. The steals, he's getting about 1 per game, so it's tough. We haven't nobody asked about Caruso, which is interesting. Let's see. Anybody brought that up? Yeah, for those y'all have my back with the like button, appreciate that. I see people in here like, this is disgusting. Just give the video a like. It's not that hard, unless you're not getting shit out of it and I'm just wasting your time. You gotta like it. It's fine. They're crazy. Ooh, Juan's a Thunder fan. He agrees that they're not covering. Yeah, I agree. Trying to see if there's anything we can get to here that helps us get there. I'm just laughing at some of y'all say crazy shit. All right, so at least we don't have a look for Caruso. I want to take Caruso too. I think the minutes are going to be there for him. But I kind of like fell off the wagon and stopped taking it. Or, you know what? I think this is the only game I bet over. First game and third game I bet over for Caruso. And so one of the games that I bet he went under. But the minutes are going to be there for him. You're not seeing less than 28 for him at this point, right? But I think it's like 17.5 PRA. What's the number at? So yeah, 17.5 PRA I can't condone. Was that 15.5? I loved it. I mean, I know he's there on the points. He's there in 3 out of 4 too. And he has 17 right here. 9 chances. The assists don't really help us. Yeah, if anything, maybe the PR is a better look overall. 14.5. I mean, in this series, he's way over. If you believe in what he's been doing for the series, you should just be betting on Caruso. But all right, that's all I got. I'm gonna dip out. I'm gonna get into all 8. All of a sudden, we have like 6 games in the freaking WNBA. So I'm gonna get into that on a decent streak at this point, up 1.8 units or something. In the W, had a bad night on, I think it was Saturday, crushed us, but we came back on Sunday and won a couple of units. So we're back in business, and there's some pretty good games here. I don't think this is Commissioner Cup shit. So fuck, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess they just wanted people to be rested for the Commissioner's Cup or something. I don't get why they were going day off, day on. Now we got 6 games on a Tuesday. Great, whatever. Got my work cut out for me. So I'm getting into that tonight a little bit, as long as baby sleeps just a little bit, and go from there. So appreciate y'all though. Like I said, give that video a like on your way out and be going live again. Hopefully for this next game. What is it? Thursday is the next one, right? We get a nice little 3 days. So hope to see y'all then. Best of luck to everybody tonight. Until I see y'all out there for the W. Happy betting.